In the 90s, Nigeria was in the thick of military rule, and none was more brutal and notorious than General Sani Abacha's, whose dictatorship recorded numerous human rights violations. But one case captured headlines and ignited global outcry and condemnation: the killings of Ken Saro-Wiwa and the Ogoni Nine, a group of environmental activists accused of murder, tried, and then executed, an action that provoked global outrage against the government. They were accused of killing the Ogoni four traditional chiefs whose deaths set off a chain of events that led to the execution of the Ogoni Nine and plunged the oil-rich Ogoni into crisis. Now, 30 years on, President Bola Tinubu has conferred national honors on these four elders and announced the resumption of oil exploration in the region.
The executions of Ken Saro.
I hereby confirm national honor as a commander of the Order of Niger, CON, on the following instructions: Chief Edward Kobani, CON, Osumos; Chief Albert Badey, CON, Osumos; Chief Samuel Orage, CON, Osumos; Chief Toflios Orage, CON, Osumos.
No matter what happens, no matter how long it takes, in the end, not only Ogoni will become a better place, but Nigeria as a whole is on the right path. And I want to thank Mr. President. I want to thank the NSA in particular for the tedious work they've done in bringing all this together. I'm a bit emotional at the moment, but my father and the other three will today at least be very happy that their efforts have been recognized.
And we are living here with the hope that something practical is being done and that our matters have received a hearing at the highest level.
Well, I'm now joined by Suage Badey, son of Albert Badey, one of the Ogoni Four, who was lynched by a mob in May 1994. Suage, glad to have you join me.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well,
thank you for inviting me over.
It's been long, but it will still be right to say condolences, I mean, for the loss of your father. I know it's taken quite some time, but I mean, you feel for loss of one is lost. I mean, it's a loss. You listen to the president along with me. Both of us listen to you. What's your gut response to the president's gesture? Does it address the issues of the Ogoni people? Are you satisfied? And will this close the chapter of all that transpired?
Okay, before I answer your question, first of all, let me thank you for inviting me. You know, it was just about an hour ago. I really didn't want to speak on this issue, but I think I owe it to my father to speak. I also owe it to our dear president, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to say something. I owe it to even the noble gentleman, the head of the National Security Advisor, the man of integrity, and also to the Ogoni people, the good people of Ogoni people, men, women, boys, girls, and children, and all our well-wishers who have been sending congratulatory messages to me and members of our family. I thank you very much for having me here.
Good.
You see, first of all, in my last interview, many weeks back, when those who were responsible for the murder of my father were honored without a mention of the four, I did make a statement that we were not interested in any honor. I also said we were not interested in any compensation. That still holds. However, I think that it would be nice to thank the president, but you can see a genuine intention by the president to bring about reconciliation in Ogoni land, and being aided by the National Security Advisor, so to speak, too. But the problem we have, or I have as a family, is just like yesterday I was talking to my mom. She's in the UK, and she was crying over the phone. We are still traumatized, but I told her, don't worry, don't bother. It's time for us to look back on what has happened. The problem we are having is that the president is sincere. But those who are driving the process, and these have to do with the Ogoni people, are not transparent enough. They are not giving the president the right information to work with. And that is why murderers were, honored. And then our fathers became an afterthought. It's very sad. I'm not too bothered about honors because I know very well that my father was an honourable gentleman. And for goodness sake, whether honor or no honor, you can't take away the honourableness in him. I'm from a family with a history of honors. My late grandfather, Right Reverend Barbara Conan Badey, served this nation meritoriously. After a stint in Ireland, he came to serve here in the Methodist Church and rose to the position of a Right Reverend. We can call him Bishop because it was about when he retired. And he served in Uzuakoli with the World Council of Churches. The World Council of Churches noted him as a man of integrity, where he took care of refugees at the refugee camp in Uzuakoli, of giving them relief materials and so on. And eventually Shagari conferred upon him an MON. Is that not enough for us? That you have a grandfather that was able to do that for the family. My father deserves this, no doubt. The problem here is that even those who murdered them, I won't say the president doesn't have a right to take that decision because he knows what he is doing to bring about peace in Ogoni. Do you understand? But amongst these people, you have a juju priest, you have a street urchin, you have a motorbike tout. And in this country, for goodness sake, we have men of integrity, people like Wole Soyinka, men and women of integrity who have taken honor, who have been conferred with honors. Do you understand? But unfortunately, maybe that is what those who are driving this process have caused. And then, of course, it now makes Nigeria look like a bag of irregularities.
All right.
Yeah, so, I just want to, because I know probably you don't have the time that much, but I'm not going to stop you from talking.
No,
maybe you might throw your questions as you want.
We'll talk, we'll gist, we'll chat.
Yeah.
One quite appreciates the feeling. We'll come to the question of those who are driving the process and all that. But former president of the MOSOP, who spoke there briefly, Ledo Mete, he said the meeting signaled a new dawn for Ogoni.
Yeah.
It is a new dawn for Ogoni people because I'm aware that when the president granted pardon to the 9, Mete was one of those who said pardon implies guilt, they should be exonerated. I mean, that's the other side because the talk was that...
Mete said so?
Yeah, I mean, the cry was that when this event, when the pardon of the 9, they said, we do not really accept pardon.
Okay.
Because pardon would mean that you're inferring criminality. And as far as they're concerned, we thank you for the pardon, but we thank you for the honor, but the pardon infers criminality. They're not criminals. Before this, I mean, then there was the uproar of what about the 4? And then now he has honored the 4. So when he says it's a new dawn, isn't it a new dawn in Ogoni? Isn't it a new dawn in Ogoni?
It should be. I'm not here to dig up old wounds. I'm here to also support the peace process.
Good.
And I could throw in a bit of advice. I'm a victim, I'm not a leader. Those who have bestowed upon themselves the leadership cap should try and listen to what I have to say. And now, talking about Ledum, I think I listened to him this morning on your channel. And the questions that were thrown at him, he was a bit evasive. You understand? For me, that was what I captured. And that, for instance, why I talk about transparency, from the beginning of this process to this moment, I was never part of it.
Why?
Because he doesn't want me to be there. I've said this before. He doesn't want me to be there. So how transparent is it? I'm a victim. My father contributed immensely to the development of Ogoni. He was a wonderful man.
Are the other people, your Badey and Orage, I think that there are 2 Orages there.
Yeah, 2 Orages.
And then you have Kobani or somebody.
Yes, yes.
Are they part of the group too?
Yes, they are part of the group. No, just Kobani and one of the Orages, Barrister Tom Orage.
That are pursuing it.
They are there, and they were there for the honors. I just heard about. I didn't even know that they were going to honor them. I just heard like every other person on the streets.
When they're there as representing,
No, we don't have that understanding. I've always complained that my father contributed immensely to the development of Ogoni and died for the peace and development of Ogoni. So why shouldn't I be there? Why shouldn't I make my contributions? And for instance, for goodness sake, you should even care about his widow, my mom, my dear mom. Why can't you even consult with the family, talk with us, and say, okay, this is coming up, and we want you to be there. Who is receiving it on our behalf? Is it Ledum? So the point now is this.
Yeah, because I'm aware the governor was among the entourage, right?
Yes, so the point...
Governor Fubara led his delegation pledging his full cooperation. He says this is a sign that this government is serious about resolving this issue.
So the point I'm trying to make, no, of course, I can see the sincerity of the president. I've told you that from the beginning. And I support that process. But then, first things first, be transparent. I'm an Ogoni man. That we are civilized, those of us that they killed our fathers and our supporters, the fact that we are civilized, we don't come out and make noise. We don't go about fire hose of falsehoods. The kind of way that people go about things. You know what I mean by fire hose of falsehoods? Where, a propaganda technique where falsehood is being promoted rapidly, continuously, through different channels. Do you understand? Not minding for truth and consistency. This is the problem. This is what has bedeviled the Ogoni people. Do you understand? They have been blindsided, weaponized, blindsided, to the point now that they harm themselves. And this is exactly what Ledumite and those who have styled themselves as leaders should concentrate on. I sit down back at home and I can feel the palpability of the problems and the tensions. The superficiality of the exercise is even fanning this mass mediocritization that exists amongst our people right now.
Are you saying then that the consultations of the presidential committee set up for this purpose didn't
It's not deep enough. And it's an advice. I'm not criticizing to cause problems. I'm criticizing that they may be able to pick this. Because even the government, as they are working on their own side, the Ogoni people, the government, I think they should also, inform the intelligence agencies to do their job and know what is happening on ground among the grassroots. Do you understand? So that is a very major problem. For instance, this morning when I listened to Ledum, or no, not Ledum, it was on Channels Television, I listened to Magnus. Magnus was speaking, and he said...
Magnus Abe.
Yes. And he said, Shehu was interviewing him, I think, and he said something about, in Ogoni is a sort of place where nobody can speak for Ogoni.
Is he from Ogoni?
Yeah, Magnus Abe is from Ogoni.
Okay.
He's from my local government, to be specific.
Okay.
Do you understand? So he said that, and that was truthful. It's a rudderless community right now. Even Magnus himself almost got killed many years ago, under the Amechi administration. Went for a rally in Bori, and they were throwing things at him. He almost tore his shirt, and they were almost attacking him, before Amechi came down, and they took him in the helicopter and left. So what did he do that you want to kill him? And even if he did something that was wrong, must you kill him? So you see, he said that. And then when you look back, the most foremost leader in Ogoni today is Senator Ben Birabi. He was among those who started this agitation. Johnny. Yes. He was sidelined. He wasn't even at the villa. And then you have people who anyway, it's not good for me to use the wrong language here.
Yeah, no, you can't even allow you.
So now,
even though I appreciate how you may be feeling.
Yeah. So, but the point now is this: when you look at this issue objectively, people must be sincere. I talked about Magnus and what he said. Do you understand? And trying to break it down. And then even Joy was on your station. Joy Nunye was on your station this morning. And then she rounded up by saying that they are pursuing the exoneration process. So when
pursuing what?
The exoneration process there. And they hope that it's going to, that Ken Saro and the others will be exonerated. You understand?
Oh, well, that's what I was talking about earlier about not accepting pardon.
Now, how does that help our peace process? Peace passes through stages. Peace, you go through peacemaking. We are still at the elementary stage of the peacemaking. And for goodness sake, my father, I'm the most traumatized of all the families because Kenneth was in London. Orage didn't come near the scene. I rescued the remaining people that were not killed, but they were wounded. One was unconscious. I was in the palace. I witnessed blood splatters around the walls and everything on the floor. I was looking for my father until Adeji got there and he told me, your father is dead, and they took him away. So you see, I am traumatized daily. I have nightmares, even at my age, I still have nightmares of my father. You can imagine you didn't see his body. So what am I saying? Things must be taken seriously now. Ogoni is volatile. Do you understand? It has a rare kind of insecurity, uncertainty, like I said. So there must be a deliberate attempt to inculcate in the people an attitude of creativity, productivity, and prosperity.
Who would do that?
The leaders are saddled with that. I can do it in my own little corner. Do you understand? But the leaders must look at these things objectively.
I'm aware that government, what is it? I think it's told the NSA. The NSA is supposed to organize, I think that's it, is supposed to, after more than 3 decades, all exploration has stalled in Ogoni, but now the president has ordered the NSA, or directed rather, not ordered, to engage with NNPCL, Ogoni people.
That is still going to take a long process. For so far as
well, this is for exploration.
Yes, it's a good decision, because this is what our father has even stood for. When Ken Saro was talking about stop the flow of oil, do this, there was so much violence, and they were saying we need to dialogue with government to get what we want. We are back to that place.
So you said if this is a long process, what are you...
What I mean by the long process is that they must be sensitive to the plight of the ordinary Ogoni man. It's not us.
So what's the plight of the
Ogoni people? You have an Ogoni man or a woman in the village who cannot even have 1 square meal. She wakes up in the morning with her children and goes back to bed in the night with an empty belly. We can't stay in the cities without feeling the pulse of these people, these ordinary Ogoni people, and really understand how they feel, so that there won't be another violent eruption. Because this kind of activism that was visited upon Ogoni was a skewed form of activism. And now you have a proliferation of many pockets of such activism going on in Ogoni. So that's why Magnus can say, anybody comes up and talks.
Activism,
you get what I'm saying?
Activism now against what? Against who? Directed at who?
Yes, directed. It's just a funny form of activism. It's all about Ogoni, but there is no underlying sincerity guiding that process. You understand? So now we need to put the people together. If you are a leader, you must humble yourself. Do you understand? To serve, to also respect other people and appreciate them and listen. Because that's what leadership is all about. Yeah. So if you can do that without having any sinister motive, like what they did to me by sidelining me out of something that I should be part of, being a victim, do you understand? Then
have you ever been able to meet the governor?
No, not yet.
Yeah, because
it's not an easy thing to see the governor.
Of course, I know. I was thinking, I mean, based on the fact that this is an issue, a topical issue, he was there, but of course you were not there with them, because he led the delegation, and he's pledging full cooperation. He says this is a sign that this government is serious about resolving these issues.
Yes.
Listen to the governor, I would think that he's the leader in the entire River State. I mean, Ogoni is there.
Yeah.
But he wants a situation where everybody comes to the table, and then they take it up from there.
Let me tell you something. How complex it is. It's a dizzying complexity in Ogoni. Let me juxtapose Ogoni with the rest of Nigeria.
Yeah.
The South produces the oil that funds Nigeria. Most of the revenue for Nigeria. Now, you have people who are living in splendor in Abuja, while the South lives in squalor.
There was a talk about a remediation of the environment.
Yes, they are trying to correct the ills now of the past. Now, what am I saying? The South is not too happy that those who are not from here benefit more from this oil revenue. Now, get back to Ogoni. Let's now use Ogoni. In the context of Nigeria, like I've said. You have the oil-bearing communities of Ogoni, who right now, today, I don't know if this committee has put that into account. The oil-bearing communities of Ogoni right now feel the same way the South feels about those who don't have the oil. Do you understand? Because, for instance, my father is from an oil-bearing community, a major oil-bearing community, and that is the Channel, Bodo City.
Are you saying that they are marginalized or something?
Yeah, because, you see, all this struggle and activism, most of those people who were at the head of it, particularly Ken Sariwa, has no oil in his own community. Do you understand? But those that were killed are from Bodo and Bomu. These are contiguous communities. They have, Bomu's oil has finished, has dried up, but they have enormous volume of gas. Now, in Bodo, we still have gas, we still have oil. And that is where the Trans-Niger Delta pipe passes to Bonny, and that's also where the road passes to Bonny. Now, these 4 men who are from oil-producing communities were killed. Of the 9, only 1 is from an oil-producing community, aside Ledum, who is from an oil-producing community. So they are beginning to have those feelings. We are not saying that oil from Ogoni should not develop the rest of Ogoni. After all, years passed, it has developed other parts of Nigeria. So why shouldn't our brothers who don't have it?
For over 3 decades now, there has not been exploration.
So why
the essence of the end game, aside the reconciliation and everything, is that exploration starts. That should be music to your ears.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that kind of feeling and agitation exists in Ogoni now as I speak, by the oil-bearing communities against those that are non-oil producing.
Why is it so?
Because they feel that their sons who were from oil-bearing communities were murdered, dismembered, they didn't see their bodies. And then those who are not from the oil-bearing communities seem to make a lot of noise about this oil when they don't even have.
So are you saying?
So what I'm saying is that
with the gesture of the president, there's no cooling of the feelings.
The gesture of the president is right.
Good.
But the committee has a great job to do to consult with the people to feel,
make them feel, draw them close,
let them have that sense of belonging. Do you understand? And to make the job of the president easy.
How would they do this?
By consultations and reaching out, hearing out, like a little people's parliament everywhere. Hear the voice of, you must hear what they have to say.
See what the government says. It says it will deploy every resource to support the Ogoni people in this march towards shared prosperity. Well, that's what we're discussing. What kind of support now the Ogoni people, because the NSA is coming there with the rest of the people. I believe that NSA will co-opt.
That's it. I'm just here to make my little contribution.
Yeah.
And then they can pick from it.
What will you advocate? I mean, aside the fact, talking about reconciliation, well, I was going to ask you, you're explaining it now, have all the factors been, have all the players being factored in? But you were saying you were not factored in.
Yeah, I wasn't. There are a lot of reservations back home in Ogoni. You understand? But like I told you, you have the civilized and the fairly uncivilized. Do you understand? And their reactions are different. Different. So we are more on the civilized side, where even if my father was murdered and not on the air talking about this and that every day. And that's why I was very bothered about. Joy Nunia is my sister. I was very bothered about her bringing up the issue of exoneration. And you just mentioned it that Ledum said the same thing. That is wrong. Don't bring us back again. this happened, that happened, people have been honored, this have been honored. Okay. The president,
because
the president
there's
has
a
done,
balancing now.
So that the president has done well.
Well, that
Now,
was why Meta said, he said it's a new dawn. That's what he said.
Yeah, he says it's a
It's
new
a new dawn.
dawn.
So I was asking
but
you,
I'm
I
now
mean,
telling you about the little underlying
Undercurrents.
problems. Like, I am a very good example of the insincerity of this committee.
So, I mean,
Do you understand?
what you're saying now is that for goodness sake and for equity's sake, it should be brought in to the reconciliation, or the other people who are not.
At this point in time now, what I have said now is enough for them to reason and go about what they want to do.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's not. I'm not desperate
Yeah.
to be in there. Like I said from the beginning, I'm not a leader. I'm only a victim. By virtue of my father's position in society and his contributions to Ogoni and how he died for the cause.
Don't you believe,
that is why I am here
Don't you believe
speaking.
now, with what the president has done,
Yes.
that these leaders will go back and do the needful, which is co-opt? I mean, basically what you're saying is let everybody be co-opted.
Let me give you an example of how bad it is in Ogoni. Forget about my father's killing and all that. That was the beginning of killings in Ogoni. In Ledum's community, where Kedere is known as Kedere, is an oil-producing community. There are two individuals that people walked into the community and took away. Until today, they have not seen. They've been seen.
That was when?
How many years ago? About 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, because I'm
Sunday. One of them is Sunday Boko, and the other one is Sunday Godo. Their wives are there, their children are there, and I'm sure they are traumatized. Do you understand? Because I know what I'm going through.
Who took them away?
People who felt that they were a problem to them. That's not how to settle scores. How do you just take them away? Journalists, I've given you the names. So if people do investigative journalism, you can get to the root of what I'm talking about. And that is just two that I've mentioned. It's littered all around Ogoni. In my community, a young man was killed, his body taken away, not till today. The chief of Bomu was killed, his body. So that mentality is wrong. Because for them, if we had killed this big man, who are you that we cannot kill? And so we must reverse that trend, bring in a new culture. We had a wonderful culture. Our people are wonderful people. But all of a sudden, I don't know where this came from. And when I talk about these barbaric acts and cannibalism for that matter, I'm even ashamed because I'm an Ogoni man. So does that make me a cannibal? I begin to ask myself. Do you understand? So these are the things that they need to deal with seriously.
And I'm sure as you're saying it now, I'm sure as you're saying it now, it's getting to the right ears, and
Yes.
they'll be able to, because what you're saying, from what I can feel, is that there are still some
You see, in our days,
undercurrents.
in the days of my father when he was still alive, you gave him an appointment. Oh, he's a vulture. He's relating with the government. Shehu asked, was it on your program, on Arise? They asked somebody, I don't know who was interviewing Mite,
All right.
and they asked him, people said that you were not supposed to take an appointment in the NMTC. And quite frankly, that's conflict of interest. What are you doing there? When at the same time you're talking about oil resumption. That's wrong. Do you
All right.
understand? So
All
these
right.
are the things.
All right.
Come on.
All right.
God saved him
All right.
from the tribunal, from the news.
All right,
And
so
now, one last thing that I would like to tell you.
No, I don't have that. Okay, land.
One last thing I want to say, and that's for the benefit of the Ogoni people, and this is for the president. When oil resumption resumes, Ogoni has the capacity to produce 500 barrels of oil daily. Today, Bonny light oil is going at $70 per barrel. That means on a daily basis, you can generate $35 million, and in a month, over $1 billion.
That's what we're talking about, exploration.
I get what I'm
now.
saying. Translate that into Naira, that is over 1.5 trillion Naira. And so my question to the president is this, and this is an appeal, and I know he can do it. 1 month of Ogoni oil, put it in Ogoni for social infrastructure. Let all the roads in Ogoni be tarred such that goods and services will reach every corner of Ogoni and we'll begin to feel the impact of that.
Of government. That's a very good one. I will leave it there. That's a very good one. I'm sure the president has had. It will get to him definitely. Suage Badey, son of Albert Badey, one of the Ogoni Four. Thank you so much for being on the program, your insights, and of course your advice, and of course what you have said. I'm sure it will get to the president. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.